This video is going to be all about how to use your journal for notes and for homework. You'll learn about what goes in the journal and what doesn't, how do you set up the journal, and how do you do homework problems and take notes. All class notes are to be taken in your journal. Some do-nows will be done in the journal as well, especially when they relate to the day's lesson. I may give you some example problems to put in your journal, and in addition, most of the work we do in class and most homework, unless I say otherwise, should be done in the journal. Other things I may ask you to do on paper. Some do-nows, I may hand out a worksheet and ask you to do it on the worksheet, and that does not go in the journal. Some classwork I may let you do on scrap paper, and sometimes I'll give out homework that can be done on a worksheet rather than in the journal. On the outside of the journal, I'd like you to write your name, grade 8, and math on the cover. The notes are going to start in the beginning of the journal. New topics will begin on the next blank page, and optionally the back pages can be used for vocabulary, and I'll show you how to do that later in the video. Here's what I'd like you to do when you're taking notes in class. First, put a date on the upper right-hand corner of the page. Always put a date so you'll know when you took the notes and when that class was given. It's a good idea to write notes at the top of the page someplace so that you'll know that what follows is actually notes and not homework or something else. Next, put a title that tells you the main topic of the notes, and I'll usually give you that in class. Next, you just write your notes, take notes any way that you usually do, and that's what your page should look like. When you do classwork, what I'd like you to do is also put a date and put the topic of the classwork in the upper left-hand corner. Write what the assignment is for your classwork, also at the top of the page. And then, for each problem, I'd like you to restate the problem. Now, for some problems, that simply means writing something like solve or find x or something like that. And then beneath the problem, show your work. Now, the work that you show is partly so you'll remember how you did the problem, and the way you should think about it is try to show me, if I were to read that you know how to do the problem. If I give you a worksheet to do in class and I ask you to do it in your journal, what I'd like you to do is write the date, the name of the worksheet someplace at the top of the page, and then restate each problem, and again, show your work. Now in this case, the example journal only has lined paper, but you should be using graph paper in your journal. Now this is optional. This is a method that might help some of you learn and study vocabulary, and if you wish to do this, you do this at the end of your journal. After the day's lesson, perhaps as part of your homework, review some of the vocabulary that you've learned, and then record it in the vocabulary section as follows. First, you make 3 columns on the page. Now, if you're using a page that's on the left, as it is in this picture, you set it up like this. The term or concept will go in the first column, closest to the binding. The definition will go in the center column, and then on the outside, write an example of the term. So for instance, if the term that you're defining is slope-intercept form, the definition might look as follows: y equals mx plus b. And then for an example, you might give an equation and then write the slope being 1/2 and the y-intercept being -7. And that kind of connects all of these things together. Now you might ask why I insist on having the term or concept in the center. When you practice, if you've done it this way, what you can do is you can fold the example over the definition, which kind of covers those up. And you can look at the term and say, slope-intercept form, think about what it means, and then unfold the page to see if you got the definitions right. And then you can do that with other terms as well. When you take vocabulary on the right side page, you do things kind of the opposite way. The term goes on along the center, on the inside, on the left side of the page this time. Definition in the center column, example on the right. And you would write the same things. And again, when you practice, you can cover up or fold in the example over the definition, covering those things up. And then, when you wish to see if you got the answer right, just unfold the page. When you do homework in your journal, you should always write the due date and the word homework at the top of the page. Now I'd like you to write the due date, not the date that you do the homework, but the date that the homework is due. Then write the assignment, and then briefly restate each problem and show your work. If you don't understand how to do a problem, what I'd like you to do is this. Write down the instructions for the problem and the problem as it appears in the book. Don't just leave the space blank. I want you to write down the instructions for the problem and problem as it appears in the book. And it might be something like this. Next, I would like you to write down a question that you could ask in class, or perhaps write down as a reminder for yourself what it was that you didn't understand. For instance, what does solve for y mean might be your question. Or you might be confused about what the semicolon means in the problem. You need to do that for each problem for which you do not know the answer, or that you don't know how to find it. If it's a word problem, that's a homework problem, or even a work problem for classwork, what I'd like you to do is copy the instructions, if there are any, and restate the problem briefly. You don't have to write out the entire problem. In this case, you were renting a room, and the rental charge was $1,500 for the first 3 hours and $125 for each hour thereafter. And then it gives you a total amount that you spent and asks you to find the maximum hours that you could have the room for if you had that much money. Now, you don't need to write the exact word problem, but this is a summary of the important facts. If you don't understand it, again, write down a question that you could ask in class. And your question should reflect some understanding of the problem. I don't want a question like, I don't get it, because that's not a question. But it should reflect the fact that you read the problem and that you tried to understand it, and that you can tell me what it was that you didn't understand. And that concludes this video.